Good morning, year one. I'm really glad that you could join me today because we're going to start writing our story, Jack and the Beanstalk. So before I start, make sure that you've got a lined piece of paper and a pencil with you, okay? And your sound mats that you got in those packs because they're going to come in really useful when we're sounding out our words, okay? So pause me now if you need to go and get those things and go and get those things now. Okay, hopefully you paused me. So let's have a look at our lesson today. Ooh, a bit ahead. Okay, so our objective today is, can I write the beginning of the story? Can I write the beginning of the story? Okay, because normally what we do now is we do our hot task where we'd write up our stories, wouldn't we? So what we're going to do is we're going to have a look at some of those key words, that key vocabulary that we've been learning about over the past few weeks. We're going to have a look at our phonic sounds to see if we remember those. We're going to have a look at some tricky red words that might come up in our writing. And then we're going to have a go at writing the start of the story together. Okay, so you ready? Let's get started. So we're going to do my turn, then your turn. So the first word, let's see if you can remember this one first. Can you remember? That's right, trouble. Trouble. Yes, and who did Jack get into trouble with in the story? That's right, he got into trouble with his mum, didn't he? For bringing home those 5 wrinkly beans. Okay, my next one is beanstalk. Beanstalk. Good, and you can see that E sound, can't you, in beanstalk? Beanstalk. Okay, and that grew out of those 5 wrinkly beans. It shot up to the sky and grew overnight, didn't it? And led Jack to the giant's castle. Okay, my last word for today is strange. And it was very strange, wasn't it? He wasn't expecting it to happen. Okay, let's have a look at some of the sounds we've been learning this week. So our first one, can you remember it for shut the door? That's right, or. And our one down here is for whirl and twirl. Let's have a look up here. Now this one we might not know yet. So ow for shout it out. So we say ow, ow. Good. You see they're shouting, aren't they? And this one here in the green box we have got air, air. You know this one, but that's not fair. Good. Okay, so some tricky red words that might come up when we're writing our story. Let's have a look at this first one over here. We've got his. Do you know this one here? They. Do you know this one? Were. And down here we've got he. Fantastic. Now they're tricky red words because we can't sound them out. We just need to know those ones. Okay, let's have a look at our Jack and the Beanstalk story and see if we can remember our actions for the story. So you ready to do it with me? We have got once upon a time, Jack and his mother were so poor they never had enough to eat. Your turn. Well done, fantastic. Good job. Okay, ooh, my next one is one day, comma, Jack sold his cow in exchange for 5 magic beans. Your turn. Good, great job. Okay. And then we've got this one. We've got when Jack got home, he was in trouble. Big trouble. Full stop. Your turn. Good job. Fantastic. Okay, then we've got Jack's mother. Jack's mother was furious, so she threw the beans out of the window. Your turn. Good job. Okay, and the last one that we're going to do today is in the morning, Jack looked outside his window and saw a giant beanstalk so tall it touched the sky. Your turn. That morning, Jack looked outside his window and saw a giant beanstalk so tall it touched the sky. Good job. Okay, let's have a go. I'm going to get my pens with me, my 2 pens. Have you got your pencils ready and your writing? So I'm going to have a go at doing this first, and then I want you to go away and have a go the best you can at doing some good writing for me, okay? And I want you to see what you can do with a little adult support. So let me have a turn. Let's have a look. So it's really useful to have your story maps, and I know Miss Wassell posted those on Tapestry, so if you need to go back and use that when you're doing your writing, it's a really good idea to do that. Okay, just move my chair a minute. I'm hoping you can see my writing. So I'm going to start off writing my title, Jack and the Beanstalk. And you can copy that so you can see that at the top of your story maps. Jack you see that? Jack and the Beanstalk. Trickier writing on a wall than you think, year one. Okay, so let's do our first sentence. So our first sentence is Jack and his mother were so poor they never had enough to eat. Can you say it? Good. So we know how to spell Jack because it's there for us. So let's start off. What do we start our sentences with? Can you remember? That's right, we start them with a capital letter. So I'm going to start my sentence with a capital J for Jack. Jack. And make sure it's bigger than the rest of my letters and it's sitting on the line. Can you see? J, A, Jack. And Jack and his. Now, his was one of those words we were talking about, wasn't it? We practiced his. A tricky red word. Jack and his mother. Mother. So I'm going to use my finger space. Jack and his mother were. That was another tricky red word we were talking about. And it's spelled W-F-R-F. Were. Jack and his mother were so poor. Oh, and it's those 3 letters that make that all sound in poor today, like we did in door in our phonics. Jack and his mother were so poor, they never, Jack and his mother were so poor, they never had enough. And this is a tricky one, so just use your phonics. If you can use your phonics and I can read it, that is fantastic. Jack and his mother were so poor they never had enough to eat. Full stop. And now I've made my full stop very neat and on the line as well. Jack and his mother were so poor they never had enough to eat. Hoping you can see that. So, and then I'm going to do this one, and then I'm going to let you do these last three sentences in your writing, okay? So we've got one day, comma, Jack sold his cow in exchange for 5 magic beans. So one day, so I'm going to start here after my full stop, and I need a capital letter, that's right. One day, D. You see that? D, A, one day, comma, Jack, and because it's his name, it needs a capital letter. One day, Jack sold his, should have done it in my really, shouldn't I? So that's our tricky red word, his cow in exchange, we'll just put it on. So one day Jack sold his cow in exchange for 5, and now because it's in my writing, I need to think how I spell 5. Can you see that chatty friend? Jack sold his cow for 5 magic and now it's that sound as well. Do you remember in Giant, the G sometimes makes the J sound? Magic beans. Beans. Full stop. Okay. So hopefully you can have a go at writing those parts as well as, let's just have a quick look back at our story map, as well as those other 3 sentences. So we've got, when Jack got home, he was in trouble, big trouble, full stop. That morning, Jack's mother was furious, so she threw the beans out of the window, and you can see her furious eyes there, full stop. Then we've got that morning when Jack got up, he looked outside and saw a giant beanstalk so tall it touched the sky. Okay, so I want you to see if you can do that in your best writing, okay? See how well you can do. When you're describing Jack and his mother at the beginning, do you remember we described Jack, didn't we? And we said he was quite mischievous, quite cheeky, and he was young. If you want to add some of those adjectives into your writing and make it a little bit more interesting than mine, then you can do, okay? Now, I can't wait to see all of your fantastic work on Tapestry, okay? Don't forget to upload it. Bye, year one. See you tomorrow.